before I start this video, I'd like to thank our sponsors over at Established Tiles. And before I start the sponsorship to this video, I'd like to let you all know that I will no longer be going as Yoyo 808. Officially, call me Lord Yoyo the 808, thanks to Established Tiles. It's a project based on a Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lords or ladies. So what happens is you purchase as little as 1 square foot of land in Scotland, which would qualify you as a landowner. You then get this certificate labeling you lord or lady, and it's official. You could get it on your credit cards, plane tickets, even something like dating apps. It's a great last minute gift for friends, family, or significant others. Also on the certificate, you'll get a personal plot number allowing you to see exactly where your land is, but for every square foot purchased, this company will plant a tree. So not only will you be flexing on the peasants who have no land or maidens, you will also be supporting the planet, as this company supports charities such as One Tree Planted and Trees for the Future. Established Tiles is currently running a massive sale right now. Plus, if you use the code YOYO10, you get an additional 10% off. So go to establishedtiles.com/YOYO10 to get your gifts now and help support the channel. The first 200 people to get a title using my link will also be directly next to my plot, so join me, become a lord, and more importantly, support the planet that we call home. Thanks again to Established Tiles for sponsoring the video. If you watch one of my older videos, you know I've done some pretty grimy things to my brother, but in part 1 I did go a little far. Just watch this video right here and see for yourself. But I had this to say at the end of that video. But after glaring at me, he just runs away and goes to the room, and here's where I made a mistake, because I thought he was wallowing in self-pity in that room, but little did I know he was plotting his revenge. And this is that story. See, my brother held such a grudge that this took place months later. We were shooting each other with Nerf guns, one of our favorite things to do at the time. We did this a little too much, so much so that we had Blicks on Blicks on Blicks. Our arsenal could catch us a Rico case for real. We'd even go OD. Get it? We'd even go OD and build forts. Like tip over the table, grab the bed frame, put a blanket over it type forts. Keep it a buck. It was so sturdy it could make Kai Cenat switch to the cha-cha slide. I genuinely miss building these as a kid. Like if I flip a table as a grown-ass man, I'm either having a mental breakdown or moving states because I had a mental breakdown. But as I stated earlier, we had a good selection of weapons. My favorite being the shotgun because of its mechanics. With most normal Nerf guns, you insert the darts directly into a barrel or into a clip. Well, this one had these thick World War II fire in the hole ass shells. 2 to be exact. You place the darts into the shell into the gun, cock it and shoot. This John had range, bro. Like my siblings rarely won these wars. I was 16, but you would think I was 12 how good I was at shooting my black brothers. But my favorite part was reloading the gun. See, when you open it, the shells propelled out like a real shotgun. Then you put the spare shells in, and then you what the fuck was that? You pull out the spare shells, load it, and then you keep going. This is one of the coldest things young me has ever seen, and I kept it on me. I was never lacking. So there's one time my brother caught me lacking. I had woke up on a Saturday morning. The first thing I did was grab my blick and get to building a fort. Now there were 2 different types of forts. One was the kitchen table with a bed sheet draped over it that we'd pin to the ground. This was usually a 1-man fort. As for the other, we'd take our bunk bed frame and drape a sheet over it. That was usually a 2-man. Now, me having the best weapon in our arsenal, a team would only hold me back. I was like Wilt Chamberlain in 1962 without the skill or the height. And I was also 16, so basically the same nigga. I started building the table for it, and the commotion wakes up my brother. Bro, what are you? Nah, you said I could use the table. It was my turn. Nah, I said you could have this pudding. Putting these nuts in your face. We start arguing, but then it hits me. I'm strapped, and he's lacking. Why am I even arguing with a nigga who can't dodge bullets? So I let my stick talk. He ducks, but the way he ducks gets him hit in the forehead. Furious, of course, he lunges at me, ripping through the fort, and I'm like, damn. How the tables have turned. Psych, I back up, shoot him in the head again, pop, and I'm thinking this has to stop him because these bullets hurt, but instead, he dashes towards me even quicker because he knows the shotty only has 2 shells, so I ditch it to grab another gun. I run to the other side of the living room, grab a strap, load it, turn around, and immediately drop it because I see my brother holding my gun. Not to shoot me, but to break it in half. I rush over with all of my might, fully intending on slamming the entire weight of me and my past 3 lives into this nigga. And this causes him to waver as he knew if I caught him, I was sending him to the spirit world. So he rushes to the patio, but now he's cornered. I reach for the gun. He runs to the right. I follow, but then I don't know where he learned this, but he hits this hezzy and sends my ankles into the spirit world. He was like Wilt Chamberlain in 1962. I get up, but he locks the patio door. I panic immediately, and from his point of view, I'm banging on the door to get him to let me in. But in actuality, I am trying to drive my fist through the glass door to break it. I am seething with rage. I see him raise the gun over his head, smile, and slam the gun onto the ground, and I can only look in pure anguish as my favorite weapon just gets eviscerated into 1,000 pieces. I fall to my knees, and with a smile on his face, my brother walks into the bathroom and locks the door. My other brother eventually lets me in, and as I'm looking at the carnage, my mom comes in and asks me what happens, to which I say, oh, this? It was just an accident, you know? Terrible accidents can happen to anyone at any time, but I'll be careful next time. I'll make sure. I'm playing. I never got back at this nigga. Videos is writing the scripts. My profession isn't too different from a normal job. A doctor goes to work and cures people. Sir, he's bleeding internally. He's gonna die. We need to do something. Internally? That's where the blood is supposed to be. Next, a cashier goes to work and scans shit. A chef goes to work and unversions the olive oil. A Catholic preacher goes to work and unversions the I go to work and draw. It's only when I have to script write where it feels different, because I can't